Hey guys, in this video I'll be comparing Rubiel Mosquera, otherwise known as Neckzilla, to Hadi Choopan. As the Dubai Pro is fast approaching and the hype for Rubiel is getting real, I wanted to see how well he would stack up against a true top Olympian. While I did compare Nick Walker's 2024 New York Pro to Rubiel, I don't necessarily think that that package was a true representation of, let's say, a top 5 competitor. Rubiel ended up doing rather well solely based on size, silhouette, and wow factor. Now, do you guys think that Rubiel can place highly if he gets to the 2024 Olympia? And can he potentially beat a guy like Hadi? Let's find out. The first pose, the front double, might foreshadow how this comparison's going to play out. Looking at both, it is immediately clear that there is a large disparity within their condition. Look at how deeply separated Hadi's quads and hip flexors are compared to Rubiel's, along with the superior proportions that Hadi presents. This pose has always intrigued me for Rubiel since his arms look extremely small, but only in this pose, and compared to Hadi, he gets smoked in the relative proportion. Despite the stellar condition and quality to Hadi's legs, Rubiel impresses me more with his raw size. I mean, the calves and quads are dwarfing Hadi's. Apart from the arms and the subpar condition, Rubiel is actually rather good in this pose. He's wide, has a decent silhouette, and tons of size. That being said, on a bodybuilding stage, I have no doubt that Hadi would probably take this pose since his shape, flow, and proportions are twice as good, not to mention the conditioning. Now, the front lat spread is definitely close since Rubiel looks like a tank in this pose. Both have wide and nicely flared out lats, with Hadi having a more bulbous quality to his, while Rubiel simply takes up so much space. A similar analysis can be made for this pose as was done in the front double, since Hadi presents so much quality and detail in the legs and midsection, and his entire physique looks see-through. On the other hand, Rubiel is Ronnie Colemaning his way through the pose, showcasing so much mass in the lower body, an extremely filled out upper half, and surprisingly good conditioning in the chest, arms, and delts. What I said about Rubiel's arms earlier is seen on full display, as now they look substantially larger than Hadi's. This really does come down to a conditioning versus mass battle, and in my opinion, I would go with Rubiel. He is freakishly freaky, brings another level of wow factor to the stage, and still has good enough condition. That said, Hadi would probably win in the eyes of most judges, however, I would go with Rubiel. The side chest, in my opinion, is a slam dunk victory for Rubiel, no questions asked. Rubiel absolutely dominates anyone today in the side poses, since he has the best side leg, an incredibly bubbly upper body, and almost magically presents top-tier condition. Dare I say that he has better separation in the side leg than Hadi, since he's got the deep cuts along with more intricate lines. He might even be beating Hadi in the midsection, having finer details in the serratus, and deeply separated abdominals. The chest and delts are definitely areas where Rubiel pulls ahead, possessing that round fullness that Hadi sort of lacks. I've always found that Hadi appears rather flat in the side poses, especially in the chest and leg. However, his arm, silhouette, and conditioning are always spot on. All in all, Rubiel is too big, similarly detailed, and literally knocks the former Olympia champion out. The rear double is where we can see a big difference between a top Olympian and a newly turned pro. While Rubiel does have good insertions and decent development, he's still a work in progress in the lower body condition, lower back definition, and arm size. While his arms don't look nearly as undersized thanks to the incredible detail and the adjustments in the posing, Hadi clearly wins this area. From the rear, Rubiel does still have tremendous delts with phenomenal separation. However, Hadi has those dense cannonball delts that are objectively better. Neither are the best in the lower body condition, surprisingly looking comparable in the hamstrings and glutes. However, Hadi does close the door in the back itself. Rubiel actually gives him a run for his money in the traps and lats. However, the overall density, detail, and quality muscle Hadi packs is too much. Although this pose might be closer than I thought, Hadi still has a definite win. To save you some time, I'll tell you that the rear lat spread is easily a Hadi pose, even more so than the rear double. In general, if two competitors, one taller and one shorter, have the same sized back, relatively similar condition, and are equal in most aspects, then the shorter guy wins. This is because the illusion he creates appears more impressive on a smaller frame, making the back look larger than it actually is. Here, not only is Hadi even wider in the lats, but he also has immense thickness in the mid and lower back. His legs are also not being dwarfed by Rubiel's, presenting solid size and slightly better separation. Definitely a Hadi pose since Rubiel looks shallow and almost narrow in the lats, and isn't as impressive in the legs from this angle. The side tricep, like the side chest, is a lights-out shot for Rubiel against most competitors. However, against Hadi, it's definitely not easy. While Hadi doesn't have the best tricep or the most impressive individual body parts, his total package and presentation are world-class. Look at the midsection, the chest striations, and the side leg details, all things that play into this phenomenal physique. Although I'm a big fan of Hadi's side tricep and his posing execution, Rubiel looks better in almost every area apart from the midsection. He's twice as full and developed in the tricep, has a smaller but rounder delt, an extremely thick chest, and a superior side leg. Hadi may have a more standard set of proportions, especially when looking at the ratio of his arm to the torso and the side leg. However, Rubiel brings the heat and looks absolutely phenomenal. This is definitely his most impressive pose, being up there with the all-time greats in my opinion. And Hadi's great as well, however, Rubiel is just better. I've said it before and I'll continue to say it, Hadi Choopan has the best ab and thigh currently. Look at the midsection detail in the serratus obliques and the abs themselves. So much separation and wow factor here since there's almost too much going on, to the point where you could miss something. Rubiel looks good having a comparable V-taper relative to his physique, and a sort of trim waist. His abs are bubbly and he has great separation as well, however, he's not on the level of Hadi in this area. If you think it's even remotely close though, Hadi can pull a vacuum, which showcases his versatility and midsection control, and helps him create an even smaller waistline. Then you look at the quad conditioning difference, and it's really night and day. Rubiel actually doesn't look half as bad in the quad separation right now, however, Hadi presents cleaner, more defined cuts, and a thinner skin quality to the muscle. And then we go back to the crunch down version, and it's game over in this pose. Definitely an easy win for Hadi. The last pose, the most muscular, is interesting since you could see that Hadi walked a bit forward, hence the notable inconsistency in their sizing. In reality, they should look something like this, however, that goes to show you the slight advantages and tricks competitors use to gain any advantage possible. Anyways, this pose is as simple as mass versus conditioning, since Rubiel looks so bubbly, large, and full and round, yet lacks that deep separation and intricate definition of Hadi. Hadi does have those trademark cross striations across his chest, a perfect midsection, and freakishly large quads relative to his body. While my eyes are drawn to Rubiel for that size and that wow factor, Hadi could just easily take this pose as well. Objectively, Hadi probably has more of a case winning, because he has the detail, proportion, and things like that. However, Rubiel is so crazy and insane looking in his own way that I would personally choose him. With that said, that's the end of this comparison. I personally had this one ending in a 4-4 tie. However, in actuality, Hadi would probably have won this one with a score being, of around like a 5-3. Rubiel's wow factor really did impress me. However, his conditioning is probably not up to par in this version. Anyways, if you guys like this video, a like and sub would be awesome, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.